Good morning, it's Sandra Sunderlage, the third chapter, and we are looking at the septic system which was built during week 12. It was hand built by Chico, one of the masons. If you watched week 11, you'll recall that that used to be just a big dugout pit, and now it has the 3 chambers hand built, but still functions fine with me. And this septic system is strictly going to be used for the casita and is sized for 1 or 2 people to use. So the lids for this are up front under the portal. You'll see it later in the video. Well, I'm pretty excited that they got that done this week. So even though we kind of were pulled back a bit schedule-wise, Chico just focused on it. So he managed to get this all built and ready to go. It'll be finished with the lids on it this coming week. And then I can actually use it like a little patio space, or I can put plants and stuff on it in pots. Can't plant anything, obviously. So aside from that, we also got the stairs plastered in white. Now, we had a rainstorm last night, which I'm kind of glad, sorry about my fingers, which I was kind of glad because it called out a little problem on the landing, but it also shows that I'm going to have a bit of a maintenance issue with white stairs, but I just love the way they look, so I'm going to have to deal with that myself. So I sweep the stairs every other day, big deal. The orange tubing are going to be, has wiring for the lights that are going to be mounted onto the side of the main house to give me some illumination at night. But you can see when this rain hit last night, it ponded here on the landing. So this landing, I'm going to have to talk to Carlos to see if there's any way where we can kind of level this off, or maybe make a little change so that it does actually drain properly. Close-up of the septic, as you can see. My neighbor's blowing his nose. As you can see, we've got the holes. Sorry, my shadow is kind of in the way here, but you can see how holes are put on the bottom of the right chamber. This is where all the black water comes into from the casita. And then the concrete only goes so far. It's open at the bottom. So water will flow into that, the black water, not the solids. Sorry to talk about this sort of stuff. I hope you're not having a meal while you're watching this. But that flows into the second chamber, and then as that fills up with water, the concrete is just a little shy to the top of this thing. So that will spill over into the third chamber, which will then just soak into the ground. So that's kind of how it works. And there will be a lid, like as I said, put on this in the next week. Aside from that, we had the plaster in. He's been kind of detailing along the edges of the casita. And also Carlos brought in a stone guy who has leftover pieces from projects that he's worked on. And he brought a bunch of samples of stone and granites, marbles and granites, I should say. And I selected just a granite that's kind of a whitish cream, and it looks like black on the video, but in actuality, a lot of the dark areas are kind of a deep amethyst purple. So it's kind of cool. So I'm going to do that here in the kitchen, and then in the bathroom, I'm going to do kind of a white marble, and that'll go well with the tile in there. We got the tile installed in the kitchen, which I really, really like. As you can see, it's a subway tile. It has some modulation in color. And we did a running bond. You can also see how this is a glazed tile and there's some texture to it. So it's an interesting, it adds more interest than just a plain subway tile. And I really feel lucky because the coloration of the modeling really works well with the floor, which is a mess right now. But once this is all cleaned up and sealed, it'll go together really nicely. So I think that'll be kind of cool, and I think I'm going to try to work with the purple tones in the stone, maybe with some art or pillows or kind of pull that out a little bit. It'd be kind of fun. Unfortunately, in the bathroom, I'm not going to show you the bathroom because the stone or the tile came in the wrong color. So we had to reorder that last week, and so they're putting a rush on it, and I'm hoping that that comes in late this coming week so we can get that installed. It does take these guys time to install tile. They're pretty meticulous about it, which I'm good with, you know, but it has to be the entire shower surround. So again, I'm going to blame Mercury retrograde on this one. I know it's direct now, but it seems like all these little things that have happened the past couple of weeks, you know, maybe it was caused by Mercury being in retrograde. I don't know. I'm going to go with that. All right, so there's not a whole lot else to show you. The guys, we had 2 guys on site doing this stuff this past week because we are winding down with the masons, and pretty soon the site will be taken over. Next week and by painters and window guys and carpenters, and the stone guys coming on Monday. The window guys should be arriving this coming week to install the last 2 windows, and then a lot of detail work. And then the painters come in and they start doing a lot of prepping. They anticipate starting painting on Thursday, but they will need a good 3 days to prep. So I'm walking towards the front of the house because I wanted to show you the lids to the septic tank, which I found something really amusing happen. Now the guys use these forms to create these shapes, and there's actually 3, one per chamber. You can see that there's one of the forms is right here. It's kind of sticking out. They haven't separated that out from the other 2 sections. That'll happen, but you can kind of see the line going across. That's actually a form that'll be knocked out probably on Monday, and then they will be taken over and covered, and these will be covering the each chamber of the septic. But what was really hilarious is when they poured these immediately after Chico left, this bird landed on this one. I don't know if you can see that with the sun. Oh yeah, there's the bird feet. So he hopped over and he pecked it. I watched him. He pecked the wet concrete, and then he kind of continued to walk over. So we have a little nature imprinted on the septic tank cover, but I think that's all right. Anyway, aside from that, you can see our mountain of debris is growing. I think we are pretty much at a close on that. It might grow a little bit more, and then it'll all be picked up, and boy, am I looking forward to that. So that is really about it. There's a lot of stuff that will be happening, a lot of miscellaneous stuff. Hopefully everything will kind of pull together next week, and we will just really start to boogie and get this project wrapped up in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So other than that, that's all I have for you. I hope that I see you next week for week 13. Adios.